Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It's time for today's Lucky Land horoscope with Victoria Cash.
Life's gotten mundane, so shake up the daily routine and be adventurous with a trip to Lucky Land. You know what they say. Your chance to win starts with a spin. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com to play over 100 social casino-style games for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And there's a certain freedom, I think, when you're a creator that then you get to bring to work too.
Totally. And I actually reckon that we've totally just started a chat here, but that is one of the brilliances of Six, is that we are such unique individuals and we all have such different things that feed us creatively, but that also then translates on stage as such unique characters, which then brings the ensemble all together. But that's so true.
You're listening to the Theatre Thoughts Podcast. My name's Justin, or you can call me Stin. On this episode, we are hosting royalty. We have two of the Australian queens from Six the Musical on the podcast to talk about the smash hit production, which is currently touring Australia. Vidya Makan and Gare join us to talk all things Six, including the true HERstory of the queens they portray, and the brilliant writing of Tony Award winners Toby, Marlow and Lucy Moss. You can follow all of our episodes and see behind-the-scenes content by following us on Instagram at Theatre Thoughts AUS, TikTok at Theatre_Thoughts, or on our YouTube channel. So dust off those crowns and get ready for a royal episode of the Theatre Thoughts Podcast. Welcome to a very special episode of the Theatre Thoughts Podcast. I've been trying to get this lined up for ages, so I'm very excited and honoured that it's finally come to fruition. We have two of the queens of Six the Musical joining us. One is a critically acclaimed actor, singer and composer / lyricist who is performing as Catherine Parr in Six. We also have a talented up-and-coming performer whose work encompasses the music and musical theatre and screen industries, who's also a classically trained musician with a diploma in classical piano, and they're performing as Anne Boleyn in Six the Musical. Please welcome Vidya Makan and Gare.
What an intro.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Oh, that was a mouthful, that one.
Oh God, high prestige.
I know. How are you both?
We're well.
Yeah, good.
We're good.
We're before a show, so we're very good.
Have a bit more energy.
Yeah.
Excellent. I have to admit, I've been kind of following your journey ever since Sydney very, very closely on all your accounts and just seeing where you're going and the stories. And you know what I'm loving is whoever thought of doing Six in the City and getting you guys to see your characters.
You into it?
They need a pay rise because that is such a good idea.
We'll tell the team.
Right,
we'll tell the team.
We'll pass that on. I'm glad. Thank you for that.
No worries. Well, I'll just do a little bit of... I know I've already given you a bit of a spiel, but I want to dive into a few things about the two of you. So Vidya, you're working currently on your own collaboration musical with Sonya Suares called The Lucky Country in conjunction with the Hayes Theatre. So you've been involved with the Hayes. I saw you in Merrily We Roll Along, and I loved you in that. I was particularly when I saw you had to stare at the screen as a news reporter for a solid straight 6 minutes or something. And I was like, she gets
that was real thought acting, Well, everything was going through the eyes.
Is that the ear moment?
Oh no, there is a funny story in that.
Carla, you obtained a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Music Theatre at the Victorian College of the Arts.
Yeah.
And you were also awarded the Lionel Girl Scholarship for Music Theatre.
Yes.
So you both have an extensive amount of talent behind you, which is not surprising.
It's kind of cool. There are a lot of us in the cast who are creators in our own right. I write musicals, or music and songs for musicals. Carla writes like her own songs.
Yeah.
A bunch of the cast, Lauren and Phoenix, are also writers, and I think that that's a really cool energy to come to work and to work within, where Six isn't our only artistry. Like we a lot of us have other things that, I don't know, we play around with, and there's a certain freedom, I think, when you're a creator that then you get to bring to work too.
Totally. And I actually reckon that we've totally just started a chat here, but that is one of the like brilliances of Six, is that we are such unique individuals and we all have such different like things that feed us creatively, but that also then translates on stage as such unique characters, which then brings the ensemble all together. But that's so true.
Yeah. And I like what you said about having your own spin on the queens, because you are, you're doing the same notes as everyone else who's performing around the world, but you each have your own spin on each of the queens, which is, you play Anne different to the West End Anne, different to the Broadway Anne, and so on. Yeah. And I think that's a beautiful freedom that Six allows you as creators to do, which no other show generally does a lot.
It's a really cool show in the way that it's been written and directed largely by Lucy, in that that's what it requires of the actor. Like, yes, you're playing a character, but you're playing your spin on a character, rather than other shows where you have to morph, right? As an actor, you morph. Whereas this is a different kind of process, and it really honors the woman or the person that is playing the queen at that particular time. And I think it especially comes out when you see our swings. Come on. In the incredible swings that we have, like play Catherine Parr, they're not playing Vidya's Catherine Parr, they're playing Karis's, Shannon's, or Kiara's. And they're very different. But the show, it's not that like it needs us to hit certain, I don't know, like energies in a way. Like it works when actually you're being truthful to yourself and the queen version of you.
Yeah.
Which is
actually,
really cool.
Yeah. It's actually like, I find it fascinating, and I will like till the day I die talk about how amazing the Lucy and Toby are, and the cleverness and everyone that went into writing this show. Yeah. But it's like, it's written in that you have to be authentic, which I mean, in any show, you have to, truth is what we're aiming for. But this show, it just feels like there's that extra spice that is like, it really doesn't sing if there isn't that level, especially for Old Mate Parr. It's a big like whole gear shift of everything, and we're all like, what?
Yeah. But even in our accents too, a lot of people, when we first did it, and we were one of the first productions in the world, were like, in an Australian accent, what? But I think what the show, it on one level is about, yes, these six queens and reclaiming their stories, and it talks about like British history. But I think the undercurrent of it is it's actually a show about women and non-binary people, I guess, in the world.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we're like playing these six queens, but we're also playing these six women on stage with their own stories. And so having an Aussie accent isn't weird.
No. And it's all part of the like, we have this little theory that Six is like this doesn't exist in this world. It's like this outside of world thing that it goes, oh, this period needs this message, or this period needs this message. It's like,
I like that.
It helps a lot. But it also is like this idea of that, like all of these different, and I think that the real like root message of Six transcends like every binary imaginable. And it's just this like beautiful golden egg of empowerment for every single person, which is why and that's not to discount that it is absolutely women reclaiming their stories, but like underneath it, and this is also I think why its success is so worldwide, is there's just every single person feels that freedom of like breaking the shackles of whatever is holding them down, and that is totally unique to every person, not just one place that has one accent. So it totally works that I'm so glad. There was one point we might have done it in an English accent, I think.
Really?
At the very beginning.
Really?
I don't remember that.
I think a producer was pushing for an English accent, and I'm...
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good. That's better if I'm getting paid. I'm joking. I kid.
Don't worry. Vidya has a great British accent. I've heard it. I promise.
Oh, come on. You're going to have to show us now. Give us a little snippet.
It's been a while.
Don't feel pressure.
I'm feeling under the pump here.
No, it's fine.
At the end of the session. Let's see.
But I do love what you were saying about how like it is so multifaceted, this show. And I think when it first came out, because I remember the first time I saw it was in London. I saw it in West End. My friend took me to it. She was like, Justin, you have to see this show. Yeah. I think it might have been with some of the originals, not entirely.
Still, every single.
Yeah. And I remember seeing it, and on the surface, I was like, okay, it's about Henry Lee's, 6 wives. Didn't know much about him, apart from when I was teaching in the UK, I heard these kids go, divorce, beheaded, divide, divorce, beheaded, five. I was like, what are you talking about? And then when I found out more, I was like, okay, that's on the surface. But then I kept revisiting it, and you're right. It's so layered in just all these things you can pull from it. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I've of late, I guess, as you're going through a long tour, you have to make things fresh for yourself. And for me, I've been thinking about the word survived, and in my song saying the word no, like, no, I don't need your love, no. And what that means coming from the body of a woman of color on stage, what that means as a woman women who are survivors, or people who are survivors, and what that means, and kind of channeling even that just on stage for me is something that Catherine Parr, I'm honouring the original Catherine Parr, but when I'm on that stage, I'm not actually necessarily just thinking about her. I'm thinking about the survivors in this world and those who maybe don't get the opportunity to say no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's so incredible. I love that reading of it, Like you wouldn't think about it, but that is just it. And I think it brings it into your performance, because I remember when I saw you guys in Sydney and you do break and you say, hang on, what are we doing? Why are we doing this for? And it brings this whole change, like say, gear shift to the show. Well, for those who have been buried under a rock and don't know anything about Six, let me just give a quick spiel of it. So it's a British pop musical written by Toby, Marlow and Lucy Moss while they were studying for their final exams at Cambridge. We first came and performed at Cambridge in 2017, and then was taken to the Fringe in 2017, smashed it, loved it, moved to London. Tells the story of Henry VIII's 6 wives as they compete to decide who will lead the group based on who suffered the most. And then there's tons of musical inspirations from Lily Allen to Adele, to Britney Spears, Ariana Grande, Alicia Keys, and obviously the 8 Tony nominations that it recently got.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Will you be watching it together? I think it's on the 13th, the Tonys.
The 13th.
We'll be travelling.
Oh,
no.
Yes, to Melbourne.
Yeah.
To Melbourne.
So I guess,
damn.
maybe we'll do a screening though together that week.
Well, by the time this comes out, you never know. It could be a 8-time Tony Award winning musical.
Yeah.
There's no reason that it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Exactly. The word is out. The Theatre Thoughts Monthly is here, and it's your chance to get exclusive giveaways, podcast episodes, reviews, and more direct to your inbox. Don't wait until next month. Get this month's Theatre Thoughts Monthly now. It takes 2 seconds to sign up. Simply head to the link in this episode's description and select the Theatre Thoughts Monthly option to fill in your details. It's that simple. You'll receive links direct to this month's edition of Charlotte's Cheap Thrills, early access to an exclusive giveaway only for Theatre Thoughts subscribers, and the early goss on our next massive star on the podcast. Now, let's get back to today's episode. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Queens? Because if I had the scope and the time, I would call up my friend Susie Russell, who is the absolute most Six fanatic that I've ever met in my entire life. She's seen it about 6 or 8 times now. She's going over to the UK to see it performed at Windsor, I think.
Oh yeah, the castle one?
Yeah. So she's like a big fanatic. So she's like, when I saw it with her, she was like, oh, did you know Catherine Parr was this? And did you know Anne Boleyn was this? And tell me all the backstory about them. But could you give us a brief description of who you play in?
Well, I mean, historically remembered wise, Anne Boleyn was, I think, the most infamous in the sense of she changed everything, and history has remembered her as the one that was at fault and the reason behind that. But what is great is in this show we get to say, you're wrong.
Exactly.
That's not the full truth, and we're forgetting some significant parts of history here, aka Henry.
Yeah.
But I love that this Anne Boleyn is so like rock star, kind of got that like punky, earthy like attitude. I think that especially the whole like, I love leaning into the sort of manipulation of it, like the very, in one moment, oh, what? I didn't do a thing. And then in the next moment, haha, I'm doing everything. And the carefreeness of her, I think that it's so nice to play her as such a multifaceted person, because she was so much more than just a temptress, a seductress, someone who bewitched the king. I totally get that the Catholic England is going to remember her as a witch because they were excommunicated because of her. And like, what I like totally, when I am doing the history, I'm always like, the culture is so important to think about. Like it's back then, religion was everything. Family, where you were in the court and in the system, like ambition was everything. And Anne was a brilliantly intelligent woman, born at that time, and like moved around, went to France, and then came back with all of this amazing French ability on knowing how to court, which in England people were like, whoa, more skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she, was, I think she totally showed Henry that he could have way more power than he did. And unfortunately, he took that and ran with it, and it bit her. And it is a real, like, I really truly feel the weight of playing her and the ability to, on one part, play the freedom of this character and just the brilliant and like the rock star vibe and get to have that rock star moment. But also I've really loved learning about this woman and how many other women probably have similarly erased stories that have some male something over it that's just ignored it or given it the wrong perspective that history has remembered it for.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
I'm Victoria Cash. Thanks for calling the Lucky Land Hotline. If you feel like you do the same thing every day, press 1. If you're ready to have some serious fun for the chance to redeem some serious prizes, press 2. We heard you loud and clear. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com right now and play over 100 social casino-style games for free. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
Available to players in the U.S., excluding Washington and Michigan. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful explanation. I remember I visited her castle in London. I went to the Anne Boleyn Castle, which is gorgeous. It's beautiful in there.
Is it Hever or is it the...
Hever Castle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous there.
The one he gave her or something?
Yeah.
They were in love at some point.
Catherine Parr didn't castle.
No. And I think apparently there's only one surviving portrait of Anne Boleyn that we know of.
The one with the bee.
Which is a fun fact.
Yeah, right.
So Catherine Parr then, who actually published 3 books, I found out, and was one of her books, Prayers and Meditations, was the first book published by a female author with a name attached to it.
English. I always like to put
English.
The Middle East, Muslim women have been publishing books for forever.
Exactly.
But yeah, in England, she was absolutely groundbreaking. Yeah.
Very intelligent.
Incredibly intelligent. Catherine Parr was a lot older. She had already been married twice before Henry. Before marrying Henry. And so when the whole Catherine Howard debacle happened, everyone at the court was like, we need a woman who they thought was going to be like just a nurse, a mother kind of thing, not stir up any trouble. And having Catherine Parr around, they were like, this woman's intelligent. She knows what she's doing. She has this maternal kind of instinct. She doesn't have any kids of her own. And so they kind of arranged for this to happen. But, you know, there's so much about Catherine Parr. She gets painted as this mother nurse kind of figure through history because each of us have our archetypes, which is what we break down in 6. Catherine was incredible. She was an incredibly intelligent woman. She was a Protestant. Henry tried to have her beheaded because she was really about the common man reading the word of God. So he really wanted the Bible to be translated into English, which was huge at the time because it meant that all of the power of the Catholic Church and the Roman Catholics would kind of disintegrate because it meant that they couldn't just tell people what to do.
Isn't that
people could read the Bible themselves?
Isn't that what Henry wanted when he reformed the church with Anne Boleyn?
Yeah, but it's like even though he said he wanted to be like change the church, but he was still like, I guess, a Catholic at heart. So they're like,
right, okay.
Very confusing. But everyone basically said to him that Catherine Parr was being too independent and was doing too much to like progress everything forward. So he tried to have her beheaded, and she was very, very close to being beheaded, but she actually talked her way out of it. Whoa. Which is the first time that ever had happened. And I think it really says a lot to her intellect and her ability to get on side, which is an incredible trait for a woman of the time. So she did that, and she, like I said, ended up publishing these 3 books. She was responsible for doing a lot of the teaching and for raising Elizabeth, who was Anne's daughter. And they actually say that Elizabeth's reign and the incredible intellect that she had, a lot of that was to do with the fact that she was really raised a lot by Catherine Parr. Yes. So this woman was absolutely incredible in a lot of ways, which, like, you know, Kala, I was about to say, like Anne said, like Kala said, isn't remembered through history because she's given this one word, survived, and she's remembered as this nurse mother kind of figure.
Yeah, take him out of the picture.
Yeah, get him out.
Yeah.
It's funny, actually, as you both talk about them, I can see them in you. I can see your performances.
You say that all so often, like the spirit of Anne Boleyn does quite literally live through Kala Gare. That's
so funny.
Kind of a little bit scary.
I don't think she was.
No, but she could have been.
Exactly.
No. Well, with all of you, and the swings included, you're all such amazing performers in your own right. And like you said before, like you each do your own thing. But is there any like kind of like fun? Because I've seen like stories posted on Instagram where like someone will say like, I think it was Karis, or said like, oh, bye Sydney, instead of like hello Canberra or something. So there's like other mishaps, and I've seen like little things posted on Instagram. But do you guys have any like fun stories that just stick with you whenever you think of shows? Because you guys have been everywhere and you've done so many.
Oh god,
yeah, there's many a story.
There's many, but I only can't think of any right now.
Where in Sydney, the way that the stage was, we didn't have wings, so you had to go up and down these stairs to get off. So if you've come and seen the show, come and see us. In Holbein, you run off the stage to go do a really quick change. We get like a sip of water, put the ruff on, and then come back on stage. And the note was always get off stage as quick as you can so you can get this ruff on. And I'm the first one up on the left-hand side. And there was this one show where I really didn't see the stairs and I was just thinking about getting off. But it's like my whole, like if this was my body, it kind of turned into a plank and kind of like went like this and like a bobsled shot down, like this blue plank just fell down the stairs, and Stu, our costume lady, was waiting there for us to come through. She can't see anyone, but she sees these 2 boots just fall through the curtain. And then after she sees the boots, she sees this like little head pop out and crawl in, but I'm going to rush as well. Get the ruff on, back on stage. So that,
my God.
That was one. Phoenix, and also Phoenix was behind me, so I fell, and then Phoenix kind of like fell with me, and Lauren watched the whole thing. That's over in an instant. So
I have so much sadness that I didn't see it. I feel like
I'm kind of sad too.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yes, that was a classic. I feel like, we had, the last tour, we had a crazy moment where an audience member, when Cleves goes, get up and dance, we had a brilliant mum get up on stage.
Oh, no.
But she kind of like hoisted her whole body
she
and
was
like
wearing a full pencil skirt, and that did not stop her.
we all went into shock. We were like, oh my God, there's a person on stage.
Oh God, yeah.
And the poor daughter was mortified.
Oh, that poor girl.
Like, I tell you what, she
no.
picked it up and she was dancing.
Like
She
time, but
fully...
like characters gone.
Yeah.
We're all like, oh. I think the only person that kept
Wow.
it was Lauren, who like
Well,
escorted her off stage. We were like,
Bless.
what do we do now?
classic Seymour.
Classic Seymour.
Classic.
True pro.
How funny. That's insane. I couldn't even imagine that. Just even as a performer, you're like, oh, okay, this doesn't happen. This is meant to
A
happen.
little bit of PTSD because every time I see someone go, get up, I'm like,
just stay.
Not really.
there.
Yeah, I have the same.
Is there a special moment in the show that is always fun to do? Like you just look forward to it all the time?
There's like a heap, but I feel, do you have one?
Not in particular.
I think I really look forward to 6, this in general. And I think that the whole, like, from the Sly Goose onwards, just the whole...
Yeah.
I love the reshift. And it really feels like there is healing in that song. Like the lights, the choreo, everything, us standing there as a force, the brilliant band behind us, the lights, you literally feel the heat of the lights. And then the glitter goes off. It just is this celebration that is so joyous, and we are pop stars. But it is so joyous after this whole, like, really fun but kind of chaotic show.
Yeah.
And then we get to this point and it's that whole number is all about reclaiming it. And I love, we have a moment after I say my little bit and go, Shakesy P, and there's a little moment that we've done that I really feel like is such a, Amberlynn, that didn't happen, but it's okay.
Yeah. I also think about your daughter. I always need to tell you this. Like, sometimes I'm like, she's all right.
Oh, my God. My heart.
I keep wanting to tell you that. So on air is a great time.
Yeah, it's a great time. Watch me tonight.
How sweet.
And it's, you're not singing anymore. It's Lauren's turn to sing, and we're having a moment.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
That's real beautiful. One last question, actually, that it came to my mind. Because you've been doing this for a very long time now, do you find that you have grown as performers within this show?
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Especially add some panorama into it. Definitely grown as people.
Yeah.
Sorry. COVID.
Yeah. Certainly. Like, I think between the first season and then coming back, they're two different shows.
Yeah.
And it's not just because of, our new cast members who are incredible. Different shows in that we're all different women and humans, We've all collectively went through a lot and grew and changed in that time. But I also do think, like, since opening to now, I've definitely, there are so many lessons that you learn. The show, I think for a lot of us, it's my first long-running show in a role like this.
Yep.
So there's a lot of lessons that you just don't know until you
get there.
So you get there and you're doing it. But doing this particular show for that long as well, where the show doesn't work, you cannot switch off. Like, the show doesn't work if you're not connected.
Yeah.
If you can't just phone it in, it's not one of those, and so doing that night after night and finding the freshness night after night, which actually happens. It's weird to say, but it does. We connect with each other night after night.
Yeah. I think also the audience being different every night is such a blessing.
Yeah.
Because that's an element that we don't have to worry about adding freshness. They're always going to be different, which is great. The
spaces we get to play in is also super cool.
Yes.
Very excited to get to Melbourne.
Oh,
yeah, because a lot of the cast members are from Melbourne, aren't they?
Coming home.
But
that's so cool.
We've all, and as we tour, we get closer as well.
Yeah.
We all love each other. Like, we're obsessed with each other. And as that gets deeper and deeper, the show gets deeper and deeper, and it brings out little elements, which is really cool as well.
I love this show for that it's like, I will happily admit that I haven't hit the bottom of discovery with my character, with this whole show. Like, I know there is still so much, which is, as an actor, like, the gift. That's what you want.
And, on one hand, the show is about reclamation and women reclaiming our stories and our voices. I think on another hand, the show is about friendship,
Yeah.
and about the power of coming together.
Yeah.
This is such a wholesome conversation. It's making me feel really nice.
It's a wholesome time. That's it.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I know you've got a performance tonight to do to go and smash out. So I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for jumping on. Like I said, I've been trying to organise this for ages. So to have you come on is an absolute dream. So Kala and Vidya, thank you so much. Six the Musical, you're coming back home to Melbourne from the 17th of June, playing in Melbourne's Comedy Theatre. You can get tickets at sixthemusical.com/Australia. Thank you so much and all the best. And I can't wait to just keep following you on your journey as you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A massive thank you to Sonya McGill for helping to organise today's episode. Thank you to Kala Gare and Vidya Makan for joining us on the podcast. You can follow Six the Musical Australia on Instagram at sixmusicalAU. Six plays at Melbourne's Comedy Theatre from the 17th of June before touring New Zealand and Brisbane. More details to be announced soon. Tickets for the Australian production of Six can be booked via the website sixthemusical.com/Australia. That's it for another episode of the Theatre Thoughts Podcast. If you're looking to see more theatre in 2022 and consider yourself to be a writer, why not join our growing team of reviewers? We are currently on the lookout for new writers in Sydney and Melbourne to join our team. You'll gain great experience in writing reviews and expressing your opinions, plus you get to see theatre shows on us. If this sounds like you, email us at theatrethoughtsteam@outlook.com or by contacting us on our website, theatrethoughtsoz.online. And we'll see you next time here on the Theatre Thoughts Podcast.
Have you ever wondered how your favorite performer actually feels? Well, here's your chance. Welcome to The Quiet Part Out Loud with me, Bobby Steggert, Broadway actor and now a therapist to a whole host of Broadway creatives. Part interview, part therapy, this is not your typical podcast. We'll go right to the heart of things with some of your favorite artists, what they still struggle with, what lessons they've learned, what they haven't figured out yet. There's enormous power in saying the quiet part out loud. Are you listening?
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.